So you have this 52-week character curriculum, right? And of course, the character traits curriculum. And I don't expect you to explain this whole approach right now, but maybe you can give some building blocks of how it works, but also what could be the starting point for any of the parent if they want to teach their kids character traits that may be already there and maybe age appropriate.
Well, at Meaningful Mama, you'll find the 52 traits in my character building series, and it starts with perseverance and then respect and friendliness, empathy. It goes on through 52 traits. My series is set up with day one, you're learning the word. And for us, we're Christians. And so we're learning a scripture that kind of backs up that. And so it's learning the word, learning the scripture. But I want to say that the character building series is approachable to anyone. Like, you can just, if you're not of faith, you can ignore the faith parts and just move on. And then the next day we're working on I will statements. And so there are statements that you claim, like in different situations, statements that you can display in your house for the week. And then on top of that, I have book and movie resources that help support the trait. And then I'm trying to add in science object lessons to build up the concepts. And then on top of that, I have crafts and activities and book things. And so the goal was I just think building character, building better human beings, to love others better and serve others better is just so important. And so I wanted to create the series for that. One simple thing that parents can do that I try to do with my kids is when they get home from school, I say to them, I ask character building questions. So I'll be like, who did you help today? Or how were you nice to someone today that needed a friend? Or, those kind of questions to stimulate their mind to be at school the next day and know, mom's going to ask me these questions. I should probably find a way to help or be kind or lift someone up.
I'm wondering about one of particular traits that's overall lacking in our society as a common is empathy. How do you promote empathy with your kids, and what could be advice to someone who wants their child to be a little bit more empathetic?
John Medina, who wrote Brain Rules for Babies, says that empathy is one of the top 2 predictors of social competency in kids. And so it is, like you said, super important to develop in kids. And so I think one of the biggest ways to create empathy in kids is to show empathy. And so you've got to demonstrate anything that you're trying to teach your kids. You've got to demonstrate yourself. Even this whole self-control thing that we talked about. I have to show that I can get self-control too, even in hard situations. So with empathy, if our kid comes home crying about something, it's first listening and not trying to solve, but just saying things like, that would be really hard, or that hurts. I understand why you're sad about that. And even if you don't understand it, because it's not, you're a different person and you're an adult and you wouldn't necessarily respond the way, but responding with empathy yourself first is important. And then I think that the other thing that comes to mind is asking really good questions. And so saying to your kids, how would you feel if someone took that block from you? Or how would you feel if someone did that? And so really asking those, how would you feel if questions, instead of just coming in and disciplining right away and saying, you're not to do that, just saying, how would it feel to you if that happened to you? And I was an includer. I wanted my kids to go to school and be looking for the person. Sometimes my kids would be like, I don't have friends. And I'm like, well, who are you being a friend to? Are you looking for those people that need a friend? Or are you just have your eye on a certain person or a certain group or whatever? And so just asking them to look out for those kids that might need someone to come alongside them and bring them in.
If we talk about empathy, but also I was thinking about respect, or I would probably call for responsibility, which is also a big one. And how do we feel responsible for our own actions, for the impact that we create around us with doing something or not doing something? Is there a way in your family, or maybe in your approach, or with other parents when you talk to them, how do you promote being responsible human being and be aware of what's going on around you?
I think accountability and not making excuses. I mean, I think that sometimes we can raise entitled kids or kids that think everything else is someone else's fault. And I'm big, maybe too big on like owning your own stuff. I'm on my kids' team, but if I get a letter from school, I'm not assuming the letter's wrong and saying, "Oh, my kid wouldn't do that." Like I try to approach it with curiosity and say, "Hey, you tell me your side, what's going on all that kind of stuff." But I was pretty hardcore in making them take responsibility for their stuff. When they're little, they might take a sucker from the store and we go back, or we didn't get the right change. Let's be honest about this. We got to go back. I really promote forgiveness and learning how to ask for forgiveness. And so saying, "Hey, I'm sorry for," and then claiming it, and then saying, "Can you please forgive me?" And so I think taking responsibility is super important. And this might seem hardcore, I don't know, but in terms of like teaching responsibility, if my kids had made a habit of forgetting their lunch every day, I would not take their lunch to school. And people are like, "Oh my gosh, you're going to let your kids starve?" And I'm like, no, they're gonna eat right when they come home, and they're not gonna starve. They're gonna be hungry, you're right, but, like, they're not gonna learn responsibility unless there's a little bit of tough parenting in there, and so I wouldn't make it a habit to run their homework to school. I wouldn't make it a habit to run their lunch to school and just say, "Sorry, that's kind of the natural consequences of life, and if you don't get your homework in, then you get a worse grade, and if you don't take your lunch to school, then you get hungry." If it's a repeating habit, like if it's the one-off for my kid, I'll take their lunch. But if this is a repeating habit, I think that they'll learn, I don't wanna be hungry, so I'm not gonna forget my lunch.
Hmm.
So
Yeah, what I was actually curious about is that maybe you can give an example of a practical rules that you can create at home that kids actually know they are accountable for the specific things to do. So how do
Mhm.
you make this part first, let's say, before the consequences will happen? Just
Right. I mean, I made responsibility charts and like award charts and all that kind of stuff. And I would say, these are your responsibilities for the day. And we would laminate it and they'd have to like mark off what they do. I've done different things in the summer in terms of like responsibilities and sometimes I'm like, no screens until. Sometimes I'm like, so you get an hour of screens, do it any time of the day you want, get it out of the way, and then you can do your things. But I've found that having lists, and for little kids, visual lists where if they have to remember their lunch, there's a picture of their lunch, and they have. It takes a lot of structure, I think, for that, and it's hard some mornings where you're running late or all of that kind of stuff. But I would say charts were big in our family.
I was thinking that, it could be nice to have it visual, but I think you're probably right that for the smaller kids, because mine is 8 and he's still a little bit like,
And you
oh,
have
well,
some kids that are like that, and you have some kids that aren't. I mean, my oldest throughout middle school, I was holding her hand every day after school and like sitting down and making sure the homework was done and saying, refocus, okay, refocus, we got to do this. And then when she hit high school, I didn't have to help her at all. Like, it was amazing. Like, she's very high functioning and able to get all of her work in. She's so responsible. Now she's 19 and she's off doing cosmetology school and she's getting all of her stuff done and she's got a job at a salon and like so but I was going to say my youngest, like I didn't have to hold his hand at all. He just got it done and put it where it was supposed to go and turned it in. And so you're going to have different kids that you have to come alongside longer until
mhm.
they're ready to launch, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it totally does.